Hi everyone, I'm Katie Wilson and I'm a property trader.
And I'm George Scott and I'm a property investor.
So me and George have done a number of property videos together now, and from those videos there's been a lot of questions that you've asked.
So what the team have done is they've consolidated the key questions together, and we're going to go through and try and answer some of them for you now.
So before we get started, be sure to like,
subscribe to the channel
and click the bell.
Okay, so we've got a question in here from Arthur. Arthur's mentioned how starting in real estate was tough as he was broke, living in his own vehicle, but then got introduced to crypto. So I hear you, Arthur. You mentioned how starting out in real estate is tough. A lot of people think that to get into property, you need a massive amount of money in your bank account to go out and buy houses. Not always the case. There is a strategy that exists that we teach called deal packaging. Deal packaging enables you to get into property without needing a whole lot of money to buy, because you don't need to put any money or much money in for yourself after the stage that you're educated and compliant.
We've had a question from George. The problem is that it seems that there are 10 people interested in every house. George, I completely agree with you. I feel your pain. However, as deal packagers, as professional property traders, we market to the vendors directly. So the vendor is the seller of the house. So that's where the best deals are to be done, by direct to vendor marketing. You just need to know how. They are there.
Got a message here from Hidden. I doubt that's their real name. But Hidden, for you, you've put, gotta love this, George was just in awe by the end. I'm assuming you're referring to the video where we were ringing estate agents to try and pre-qualify viewings to enable securing a deal at discount. And I've got to be honest with you, I was in awe, and I kind of still am. So I recognised that I was doing no deals, I had nothing in the pipeline, I had a hopeless future in property because I hadn't connected with the right people that could show me how to do what I was craving to do. I enrolled in some training whereby I got to have access to Katie. She taught me everything I'm now putting into practice daily. And she was, you're saying here, impressive, absolutely impressive. For me, it's life-changing.
Oh, thanks,
I'm not going to start crying on you, but it is literally the difference between success and failure is by learning from somebody that's doing what you hope to achieve. Great advice on how to handle these calls. So it is essential to manage your time to prevent you from being a busy fool. If you can spend 4 hours hammering a phone in order to get one qualified lead, then that's the best use of your time. Think how many estate agents you can speak to in a consolidated 4-hour period. Think how many viewings you can attend in a consolidated 4-hour period. And the difference is massive. So that exercise that we showed you there, I'm glad you got benefit from it, because we apply that strategy on a weekly basis and it's generating leads.
So you've seen the video of me and George calling around the agents, and that's just a snapshot of the reality of a property trader deal packager. In reality, there's a lot more that you need to know than that, because just calling the agents is not the answer, because before you get to that point, you need to know how to value a property and recce up a refurb. If you want to learn more about how to do that, then you need to get educated. Something else that you need to be a property trader is you need to be compliant. So there's a couple of boxes that you've got to tick. It's not complicated, but there are some boxes that you've got to tick to make sure that you're protecting yourself and your investors. So like I say, it's just a snapshot of a bigger picture. But if you want to make serious cash flow and you want to take this seriously, make big cash flow, then you need to get educated of how to do it properly. So if you want to make big money as a deal packager, and you want to do what we did in that video and be able to make £10,000 in just 1 day's worth of calls, then there is a free report that you can download today and get access to. The link is in the description below.
If you're going to watch this video and then continue and do nothing, then absolutely fine. But if you're serious about beginning to become educated in property, we've attached a report into the description of this video. You're going to want to get in there and download that report. This is one of the fundamental problems with housing we have here in the UK. The government needs to cap how many properties these investors can own and stop them getting wealthy in this way. What do you want to say back to Chris on that one?
So what I'd say, Chris, is first of all, as landlords, as property investors, we are actually helping ease a crisis, a housing crisis, which is caused by the government. So the government don't care that people can't afford to buy houses. They don't care that there's a housing crisis, there's not enough houses on this little island that we're on for everyone to have a home. As landlords and professional property investors, and more importantly, as professional property investors, what we are doing is we are creating homes for people, safe, clean, nice homes. We are increasing the standard of living. So we are providing homes, we're increasing the standard of living, and we're providing homes for people who couldn't probably afford to buy houses in the first place. What I would say, Chris, is maybe it's not for you, but maybe we need to change something up here. So there's no reason why you can't do this too.
So my viewpoint is, we are not making housing worse. We are not damaging housing. We are not legally allowed to squeeze people into a property to maximise on rent because we have to adhere to regulatory standards. So take this one we're sat in now. This was an absolute bomb site. This was a drug den, literally. And Katie has refurbished the whole property from top to bottom and created a wonderful living space for a family to let out. Question here from Cobra. Can you recommend any books or audio books to get started?
Absolutely. So audiobooks, podcasts, there's all this great, fantastic, valuable content that you can consume. There is the Progressive Property podcast, which you can listen to for free. In addition to that, there are loads of books that you can read about property, but my all-time favourite book is Multiple Streams of Property Income by Rob Moore. Go and either download or buy the book. Read through it word for word. There are so many golden nuggets in that book. It is going to help you to change your life with your property journey.
Mine was Property Investing Secrets by Rob Moore and Mark Homer. A friend of mine gave me that book when I was trapped effectively in my previous job. And he gave me this book and I read it from cover to cover. And it was that book that sowed the seed in me to explore how I could replace my income through property. I suggest you read that book.
Charles Brown disagrees with being 100% leveraged. There is a big difference between being 100% leveraged and, well, just not being 100% leveraged. The reality is I've got none of my own money in the deal. Do I still have equity in that deal? Absolutely. My loan to value ratio is 75%. So just because I've got no money in the deal doesn't mean I've got no equity in the deal. And that is where people go wrong because they're not educated to understand this.
So Jacob Brody, funny little video, isn't it? Yes, you do need money to start in property, so not to be taken so seriously. She's selling dreams. You're selling dreams. Property is a great business, but it ain't easy at all. Don't remember you ever saying it was easy.
That's a long message. So first of all, I'm not selling dreams, I'm living the dream. It's a very different thing. You don't need money to get started in property. You need the skill set to be able to acquire property low and no money down. And in order to do that, you need to get educated. It's as simple as that.
DigiTeach says, amazing, I want to do this. How do I start learning? So congratulations, DigiTeach, because the common mistake people make is they think they can watch some videos like this, then crack on into the property investing wild and freestyle it without being educated. My firm advice to you is attend a multiple streams of property income event. They're run virtually every month, either in Peterborough or in London, where you're going to receive a window and insight into every effective property investing strategy that's working in the current climate today. And then you'll get to start to affiliate yourself with the people and the processes that the successful property investors apply. Uxmiva wants to know, refinance, do you mean remortgage? Why would you want to remortgage though? ...
So it's a great question. Yeah, thank you, George. So it's a great question. Why would you want to remortgage? And I understand if maybe you're not educated, I'm not making an assumption, but maybe you're not an educated property investor. The word remortgage is a bit of a scary word, but the reality is that every professional, sophisticated property investor remortgages. It's called buy, refurbish, refinance. So what you do is you buy a property, you add the value by refurbishing it, and then you refinance and pull as much money out as possible. So most investors will buy cash and then pull as much of that cash out as they possibly can after they've added the value. So it's called a refinance. Now, it's not the same as just refinancing your residential home because you want to pull some money out to put a conservatory on the back or add more value to your house for yourself. It's because actually as a result of that, you're going to pull more money out. It's a business, so you're going to pull more money out so you can buy more houses and build your property empire. Now, full admission, there is a point of what we call leverage, which should be about 75% leverage. So what I mean by that is you need to leave at least 25% equity, skin in the game as they call it, in that particular deal. So if you're leveraging at 75%, then you're in a reasonably safe place. So that would be my advice on the word refinance, remortgage. It's for those people who know exactly what they're doing. And if you want to do it properly, you need to get educated.
TW has asked, so the investor that gives you the funds to do this is only seeing half. No.
So people always think that you have to use your own money in order to invest and buy property, and that's absolutely wrong. If you are educated in what you do, then you know exactly how to do it. So raising money from investors, for example, raising money from an investor to buy a house like the one we're sat in right now, you pay cash for it. So say, for example, you borrow £100,000 from an investor with a view that you're going to use that £100,000 to buy a property. And then what you do with that property is you add value by refurbishing it. So maybe you need to borrow additional money either from the same investor or a different investor, let's say £30,000, and then you do up the property, you add the value. And then what you do if you are sophisticated is you then what we call refinance it. So you put it onto a mortgage. Then when the lender gives you 75% loan to value of the value of that property, you can then go back and pay your investor their £100,000 back because you've added value. And then you, in addition to giving them their money back, you pay them interest, which I pay rolled up at the end. So when I give them their 100 grand back, I will give them, depending on how long I've borrowed the money, chances are about 1% a month on average. I will give them that rolled up at the end as well as their £100,000 back. And that's how it works at a high level. So that is just some of the questions that you and the fans have asked us.
If you have any more, put them in the comments down below and perhaps we can bring the team together and do another one of these and address some of your specific questions based on you and your area. Should this video have been of value to you and you're wondering where to go next, how can you get started, get into the description where we've attached a free report. Download that now and start reading through it. It's going to give you tips and hints and steer you into the right direction where you can then start making steps to get yourself educated in property.
So you've had some great questions, and the reason you've got these questions is because potentially there's a gap in your knowledge. If you want to improve on that knowledge and get educated, there is a free report which you can access and download today. The link is in the description below. If you've enjoyed this video, then make sure you like,
subscribe to the channel
and hit the notification bell. If you want to watch another video, you can watch it here. I'm Katie Wilson.
I'm George Scott.
And we hope to see you again soon.